Well, we are just hours away from the start of the China International Import Expo, an event which African businesses and governments see as an opportunity to boost exports into China and rebalance the composition of bilateral trade. Trade volumes fell by 40% from $215 billion in 2014 down to just $128 billion 2 years later. Rebalancing that trade flow will involve greater exports of a range of goods from economies on the continent. CGTN's Ramah Nyang explored some of the ways countries like Egypt are trying to either get or expand market access in China.
Ideally, exports of manufactured industrial goods is the traditional way to build an export-led economy. That's how Japan did it, that's how Germany did it, and that's how China has done it too. But as a percentage of GDP, manufacturing sectors across most African economies, with the exception of Egypt, Morocco, South Africa, and a handful of others, tend to be small and hobbled by a range of issues, from poor logistics to the high cost of energy. If exports are to grow, therefore, the continent that is also home to the biggest amount of unused arable land has to turn to agriculture. Some entrepreneurs like Haitham El-Sadani from Egypt are already exporting citrus fruits to China. When we spoke ahead of the expo, he said the trade route between the United States and China works to his business's advantage.
China is a big market, and it's asked for citrus from Egypt and South Africa and America also. For Egypt, this year, especially this year, will be competitive because our prices and will be our cost will be less than America because of customs.
Exporting fruits is one thing, but most governments would prefer to export finished value-added produce. Kellogg's, for instance, uses Egypt as a manufacturing base for breakfast cereals that are exported as far as Japan. China, however, that's a market they're yet to get into.
The challenge is to export here, is if our products is matching with the Chinese culture and taste or not. We are here to test the market. We're here to know the culture of the people.
So much as agriculture may be the strong long-term edge, at least for a lot of the African firms that are displaying here at the China International Import Expo, and they're keen to export into a market of 1.3 billion people and their growing incomes, that relationship comes with challenges of its own. Take Kenya's president, for instance. In October, he expressed his desire to protect Kenyan fishermen from imports of tilapia coming into the East African nation from China. Shortly thereafter, the fisheries authorities announced that they would no longer accept any import permit applications for that very fish species from January 2019. So then clearly, much as there are opportunities to essentially expand the trade relationship between China and African economies and rebalance the nature of that relationship as well, there are quite a few challenges that still need to be resolved. Ramah Nyang, CGTN, Shanghai.